So in this video, we're going to be dealing with customers, an incredibly important part of your business, and how to approach for them to understand your mission, to feel like they're connected to the mission and almost becoming ambassadors of your restaurant and of what you're trying to create. And so it's very important to understand how to reach them, how not to be overbearing or overly dogmatic on your mission, and making sure that it's something that you can feel, so to speak. So just like an iceberg where you can see the tip, we want the restaurant to feel like it's displaying its tip and it's very clear, the identity and who we are. But as you dig deeper and go under the surface, you can see how much care and process goes into the business and in alignment of who we are. So it's very important to, not to expect that all the customers want to have all the information. I certainly think food waste is a world problem, but I do think that different countries have a much better education. Like, for example, I was raised in France, and I know that we had a food waste bin since I can remember, and we had also recycling for plastics and so on. So I think Hong Kong has a very big food waste problem because we send basically 250 double-decker bus in the landfill per day, and there's a very high amount of waste, whether from supermarkets, from restaurants, from hotels, and so on. So there isn't yet the awareness of that waste being an asset that we can reuse and create other things with it. So I do think that culturally there's different advancements, and cities like San Francisco are able to do a closed loop system and an incredible amount of composting and recycling their waste. So what I saw with the customers, it's really important to provide your message in an extremely positive manner and all about their benefit, and not being dogmatic about the message. So, for example, with Treehouse, we happen to be a vegetarian vegan restaurant, but we don't like to see ourselves as a vegetarian vegan restaurant. We want to be seen as accidentally vegetarian, and what we mean by this is essentially it's quality food that we've designed with the chef's mind and try to create something from scratch that is very exciting, that is very customizable, so people can come over and over again. We want to create a systemic change where all types of consumers from all walks of life get to enjoy whole plant-based, and we don't see it to be something that is difficult to do. It's only difficult to do when we're fighting against the preconceived ideals that people have on vegetarian, on vegan, and all of these labels. So we're basically focusing on being labeled less and being something that is all about the food, and the message is all about positivity. It's not about you have to be plant-based, you have to be vegetarian. It's no, everyone should be more whole plant-based and eat healthier ingredients both for themselves and the planet. But not everyone should be vegetarian or vegan. So that creates an environment where everyone can feel good. And also from the space design and the environments, it's important that it's a space that appeals and most people can feel comfortable in. At the end of the day, we're a food business, and the main criteria and the most important thing of it all is that the food has to speak for itself. And the food is what creates the first-hand energy inside of a person's brain. But after, what's important is how does it interact with their body? So how does it interact with the gut? And we're trying to promote people to have that self-awareness, to be able to see how they feel from eating the product and after how the product interacts with them. And once they've sparked that interest, they can look and start seeing how much we do and how much we care. Those messages are not in your face, but if you start looking in, you can see, oh, what am I eating with? What am I using? What is the restaurant built with? And all of these things, and now we can see how deep the ideology and the message goes. So I think that's a nice soft approach that is all in line with the customer's readiness to be open to the message. But again, the food is the main spokesperson at all time. You don't have to listen to me to be focusing on what the message is doing. The food has to be the main message and carrier of your ideology. So another aspect where we try to build in the education of who we are and what we're about is to, as a self-service restaurant, customers have to go and pick up their food from the counter And then when they finished eating, they're busing their own trays to the recycling center where they are encouraged to separate the waste. And that's one of the main educational elements that we have for them to understand, okay, why is this restaurant filtering their waste? Where's my waste going? And hopefully, is this happening in my apartment building? Like, is this happening in all the restaurants I go to? So another thing we love to do to engage our customers is to give them the feeling of what it's like to be an activist, to be able to donate and have that feeling of what it feels like to give. And so a big aspect other than the food donation is actually offsetting our operation with planting trees. So as Treehouse, we decided that trees was a very important thing for us to be part of. And so throughout the menu, you can find these little tree icons. And basically for every combo sold, we donate a tree on your behalf to a certain region. At this moment, it's Madagascar. And it's a great way to offset our carbon footprint and have this connection where customers can understand that we're not just about our business and creating food, but we're also about rebalancing who we are in society, both locally and beyond. Other than having the main food items, with our signature flatbreads, bowl, burgers, and so on, we try to educate really about what is in the food and all the ingredients that are in the food. Also providing all the allergen information, which is very important for all the different allergies and food requests that we have. Essentially, it's creating everything in a visual way as well, because it's important, as we found that being in Asia, it's very important to show the food and display the food, because a lot of the food items they might not know. It's new ways of eating a certain food. So making it visually pleasing is a very important part of displaying and helping your customer choose. Essentially, at the end of the menu, once we've done focusing on the main food part, we have some of our food retail and also some Treehouse gear, which kind of displays some of our uniforms made of organic cottons and other things. But also we show our composting process, and that's where we try to educate the consumer and show them where they can find more information. So we talk more about the philosophy of what Treehouse is about, where we're located. But an important thing to retain customers and have them come over and over again is through our loyalty system. So our loyalty system is free to join, and essentially as soon as you join, you get instant discount. And more you spend with us, more you get a lot more discounts, and you get different perks and incentives and special events, and really connecting to the brand as a whole and be able to display that in the best way possible. Also, a lot more information is provided through our link directly on our website, where you have a lot more information about who we have partnered with, what do we do, and how we take into account all the sustainable practices and who we are. We also try to give as much information in a fun and visual way, in a non-dogmatic way, in a non-preachy way. And so a fun way to do it is through a little cartoon where we kind of see customers enjoying their food, returning their food, and then us explaining what we're talking about here is what to do with that waste and what does that waste turn into. And that's a great way to, again, educate consumers of what is happening to something that they usually do not have any visibility or understanding what's happening after once they ate or left the restaurant. So an important structure and mindset that we all need to have, myself included and my whole team, is to understand that not everyone is going to understand or care about what we're about. And I think it's important to be mindful and aware of this and supporting whatever the customer is ready to listen to or is aware to. We're here to support for them to, at the end of the day, have a good experience, eat good food, and if that's all they care about, that's okay. And that's the best way that we can deal with customers, is making sure that we're pleasing and connected to everyone in a way that makes them feel good and positive, so that can create further long-lasting change at the end. In terms of education of our customers, it's important that we do it within the right framework. So we do a lot of school talks, we do a lot of, now with the COVID Zoom meetings, a lot of events, a lot of different opportunities that we have to share the message, share what we're about, and to really talking to a specific targeted audience that cares about these points. But within the restaurant space, we keep it to be a more malleable and accepting place where here people are there to eat and they're already a customer, and we're not here to breathe down their neck what we believe and what we want to be about. But we find that doing it outwardly and within different organization events and focused on a specific topic is one of the best way to show at least what we're about, and if people are more interested, they can then go to the restaurant and see the reality again, dig deeper and see. So other ways to get customers engaged is also the video format. So we've been investing a lot in terms of providing added value in a video format, like we did the happy hour Zoom with Green Hospitality just recently, but also us internally creating a lot of different videos based on different topics, and we're hoping to get people more interested and understanding the reality of our business through us talking to the camera and being connecting and showing what we're doing. A very important part with your customers is to want to build a community with them and realizing that they're not separate to your business, they're entirely tied to your business, and that relationship of listening to them, understanding where they're coming from, and first most to please them and have them become stakeholders in your business to be able to represent your business and let it shine way beyond what you could do yourself. So remember, investing in your customers, communicating with your customers, and being in touch with that community is truly, truly important. In terms of the packaging use in the restaurant, we really try to find packaging that is very convenient, very enjoyable for plating our food to make it good looking, but also it travels well. But most importantly is that it's environmentally friendly. So we go for highly compostable packaging, 100% recycled paper packaging. Also sometimes we even use like rice to make straws. And we're always trying to find new ways to have both the customer experience being very good, but also the environmental impact to be very good as well, to be reduced as much as possible while still being a takeaway friendly restaurant. When you eat in the restaurant, we try to use stay-in cutleries and equipment. So when you're eating in a restaurant, there's no need to create waste, and we can actually clean the dishes for you. And if you are to take away, then we use those highly compostable items in order to mitigate at best the waste created from us. We try to the best of our ability to monitor the food sizing and to find either ways to give options to our customers to order different size according to their different needs, or to provide the value necessary, we feel, for the price point to create the best value for the portion size while not creating any waste on the end product. An example of that is when you're at the cashier, you can order our signature flatbreads. You can have both a short or a long, depending on how hungry you are. And the same thing for a lot of the items that we choose. You can choose from bigger size to smaller size. So our team really pays attention to understanding what is the need of the customer ordering, and to the best of their ability to guide them to not over order, and to also manage the expectation in terms of what they're ordering and what is enough for a portion, for a certain meal, for a certain amount of people. At the end of the day, once you have the right packaging, you have the food, what really speaks to customers and what's going to keep them coming back is how it looks and how vibrant the colors look, and doing fresh food obviously facilitates that. But how do you present the dish and how does it look inside that dish is so important to the experience of the clients. Of course, they start eating with their eyes, and both in the promotions of your company and through them coming in a restaurant and seeing other people walk with finished product as they walk to their table is a great way to upsell and get people excited about your food by creating these wonderful textures, these wonderful colors, and at the end of the day, eating the rainbow, we know, is one of the most healthful things we can do. Here we have it, a dish created from scratch, taking into account food waste all the way to the end product. So well done on following us in that journey. Follow the next videos to see a lot more in that food waste reduction journey.